Angad and welcome to Kharchology. Today we are going to continue with accounting equations. This is the third and last class for it, so please stay tuned and solve the questions with me. To understand the concept of accounting equations, please watch the last two videos for accounting equation and you will understand the theory and the practical aspect of it. We have two more questions to go. Let's continue this. Let's start with accounting equation question 6. Show the accounting equation on the basis of the following transactions. Commence business with cash rupees 50,000, purchase goods for cash rupees 40,000 and on credit rupees 40,000. Sold goods for rupees 30,000 at a profit of 33% and 75% of payment received in cash. Goods lost by fire costing rupees 1,000 sale price, of which is rupees 1800. Paid wages rupees 500 and wages outstanding rupees 100. Goods sold on credit rupees 12,000 at a profit of 20% on cost. Charged interest on drawing 2,000. Goods cost rupees 30,000, sold at a loss of 10%, out of which 20,000 received in cash. Please pause the slide, please pause the video so that you can copy down the question and solve this along with me. I hope you have learned till now how we have designed the format, how we are going to represent this accounting equation. We will write the transaction first, then all the assets, then liabilities and capital. In assets, you will classify all the kinds of assets that have been transacted, and similarly for liabilities, and the last column will be for capital. First, commence business. He commenced business with cash rupees 50,000. So we will write rupees 50,000 as there is an inflow of cash in the business, and 50,000 in capital as this is the money that we owe to the owner. Purchase goods. He purchased goods on cash as well as on credit. So he purchased goods 40,000 in cash. So there's an outflow of cash there, so we will deduct cash 40,000. And he purchased goods on credit. That means we are yet to pay that amount. Therefore, it is a liability. So we will add a column for creditors for rupees 40,000. And there is an inflow of stock. There is an increase in stock of rupees 80,000. So we will add rupees 80,000 in stock in assets. After every transaction, we have to write the accounting equation that we need to check whether it stays true or not. Third, sold goods for rupees 30,000 at a profit of 33% and 75% cash payment. Since the goods were of cost rupees 30,000, we will deduct rupees 30,000 from stock, and this was sold at a profit of 33%. What is the 33% of 30,000? That we get is 10,000. So the sale price of this goods is 40,000. Therefore, since the profit is of 10,000, we will add this gain, we will add this profit under capital. All income, expenses, gains, profits, losses will be affected under the capital column. Therefore, the profit of 33% of 30,000, that is 10,000, will go under capital. And 75% of cash payment was done. So the sales was of 40,000, 75% of 40,000 is 30,000. Therefore, we will add 30,000 in the cash column, and the rest is yet to be paid. We are yet to receive this amount. Therefore, this becomes our debtors. We are yet to receive this amount. We will receive this amount in future. So 10,000 will be added under the debtors column. Check the new accounting equation. Goods lost in fire. We lost goods that costed rupees 1,000. These goods were destroyed. We lost these goods. Therefore, we will deduct rupees 1,000 from our stock. As this stock is diminished, it is no more. And we have also incurred a loss. We have incurred a loss which was destroyed in fire. So we will deduct rupees 1,000 from capital. Wages paid and outstanding. Wages paid were rupees 500 and outstanding are rupees 100. So the total wages are of 600. Since 500 was paid, we will deduct 500 and wages outstanding. In the last video, we have understood what this expense outstanding mean. It means it is an expense that is yet to be paid. So therefore, we owe this amount. So this will go under the liabilities column for rupees 100. And the total expense for this accounting period is of 600. So we will affect the whole amount under the capital column. Goods sold on credit at profit of 20% on cost. The goods were of rupees 10,000 and it was sold on profit of 20%. Since the goods were of 10,000, we will deduct stock rupees 10,000. And the profit was of 20% on cost. So 20% of rupees 10,000 is 2,000. We will add this amount under capital as this is a profit and the whole sales price is 12,000. So since we have sold these goods on credit, this will go under debtors column as we are yet to receive the payment for this sales. So we will add rupees 12,000 under assets under debtors. Charge interest on drawings. This is something new that we have not seen in the previous questions. Drawings, let's understand what is drawings. Any amount that has been withdrawn by the owner of the business is drawings. And since this is something that has been withdrawn, he has taken this amount from the business. Therefore, the business can charge an interest on this drawings because that money belongs to the business and he has taken this out. As we give somebody loan, we charge an interest. Similarly, interest on drawings can be charged by the business. So interest on drawings, which is for rupees 2,000, this is an expense. This is an income for the business. So we will add this 2,000 under the capital column. And capital is also a representation of the amount that we owe from the owner. We will deduct this amount from the capital as well. Goods cost rupees 30,000, sold at a loss of 10%. The goods were of rupees 30,000, so we will deduct rupees 30,000 from stock and they were sold at a loss of 10%. So 10% of 30,000 is rupees 3,000. Since this is a loss, we will deduct this loss from capital amount. So the sales price becomes 27,000 and we have received 20,000 in cash from rupees 27,000. So we will add cash for the inflow of cash and we will add rupees 7,000 that is yet to be received in the debtors column. Please check the final equation. whether the accounting equation stands true, the total of assets should be equal to the liabilities and capital. Let's continue with the seventh question. This is the last question that we are going to solve for accounting equations. Show the accounting equations on the basis of the following transactions. Started business with cash rupees 1 lakh, purchased goods for cash rupees 20,000 and on credit rupees 30,000. Sold goods for cash rupees 10,000 and credit costing rupees 15,000, both at a profit of 20%. Paid cash for household expenses rupees 7,000, deposited into bank rupees 20,000, paid rent in advance rupees 3,000, bought goods for cash rupees 15,000 and credit rupees 10,000. Goods costing rupees 24,000 sold at a profit of 33%, have the payment received in cash. Purchase furniture for office use rupees 6,000 and for household use rupees 4,000. Interest charged on drawings rupees 500. Interest allowed on capital at the rate of 10%. Let's continue with the solution. Till then, please pause the video and copy down the question. Started business with cash rupees 1 lakh. We will add rupees 1 lakh under the cash column as the cash has come into the business, and we will add rupees 1 lakh under the capital column as we owe this amount to the owner. Purchase goods for cash and credit. He has purchased goods for cash for rupees 20,000, so we will deduct rupees 20,000, and he purchased on credit for rupees 30,000. Since this amount is yet to be paid, we will add rupees 30,000 under creditors under liabilities. And the stock has come in for rupees 50,000, so we are going to add rupees 50,000 under stock. Check the new equation whether the accounting equation stands true or not after every transaction. Sold goods at a profit of 20%. He sold goods that were costing of rupees 25,000 and he sold at a profit of rupees of 20%. Since the goods costed rupees 25,000, he will deduct 25,000 under the stock column, and this was sold at a profit of 20%. 20% of rupees 25,000, that is on cost, it will be 5,000. So we are going to add rupees 5,000 as all the income and profits and gains are added in the capital column. This was sold for sales price of rupees 30,000, out of which cash has been received. So we will add cash rupees 12,000 and the rest of the amount will be added into the debtors column as we are yet to receive the full amount. Paid cash for household expenses. Household expenses means that this is not of business expense. So cash has been paid for household expense. This means that cash has been taken out, it has been withdrawn from the business, so this will be treated as drawings. So we will deduct rupees 7,000 from cash as well as capital. Deposited into bank. Cash has been taken out and put into a bank account, so we are going to add a column for bank, add rupees 20,000 and deduct cash for rupees 20,000. Rent paid in advance. Rent paid in advance. This means that expense has been paid for something that is not an expense of this accounting period. We have learned about this in the previous video. So we know how to treat this. Since rent has been paid, we are going to deduct cash for rupees 3,000 and we are going to add this under the asset column. As this is a prepaid rent, we are going to benefit from this in the next accounting period, so this becomes a asset. Therefore 3000 will be under assets as prepaid rent. Purchase goods for cash and credit. He purchased goods of rupees 25,000, out of which cash was paid for rupees 15,000 and 10,000 on credit. So we will add 25,000 under stock. Cash was given for rupees 15,000. So we will deduct 15,000 and the rest is yet to be paid. We owe this amount, so this will go under the creditors column. Whenever you're carry forwarding the solution onto the next page, you will always write the accounting equation that will be carried forward onto the previous page, and in the new page you will always write the same accounting equation that has been brought forward. This will only prevent you in making accounting in making calculation mistake. This is going to help you, and this will not let you make any silly mistakes, only for calculation, only for addition. Then he sold goods at a profit of 33%, half paid in cash. The goods were of rupees 24,000. The cost was rupees 24,000. So we are going to deduct this amount from stock. 33% was profit. So 33% of 24,000 is 8,000. So we are going to add this profit under the capital column for rupees 8,000, as all the income and profit are always added under the capital column. So the sale price has become 32,000, half of which has been received in cash. So half of 32,000 is 16,000. We are going to add this in cash since we have received this, and the rest is yet to be received. So this will be added under debtors column. Purchase furniture for office use and personal use. He purchased furniture for office use that was of 6,000. So we are going to add 6,000 under the furniture column, and for personal use it was of 4,000. Since this is not for business use, this will be treated as a drawings. So we will deduct 4,000 from capital, and since 10,000 has been paid in cash, we will deduct 10,000 under the cash column. Interest charged on drawings. In the previous question we have dealt with the same transaction. Since drawings is something that has been withdrawn from the capital by the owner, the business can charge an interest similarly as we charge interest on loan that has been given by the business. Therefore, all income will be charged under the capital column. So we will add 500 under capital column. Since we owe this amount from the owner, we are going to deduct rupees 500 from capital, as this has come into the business. Interest allowed on capital rupees 10,000 at 10%. Since the owner has given us money, so the business will pay an interest to the owner, as we owe this amount to him. So the initial capital was rupees 1 lakh. We will always calculate the interest that has been allowed on capital on the initial money that has been brought in. So the initial capital was rupees 1 lakh, as we have seen on the first transaction. 10% of 1 lakh is 10,000. All expenses will be deducted from capital. Since interest allowed on capital is an expense for business, we will deduct rupees 10,000. And since we owe this amount to the owner, we are going to add this 10,000 to the capital column. Check the final equation whether it stands true or not. So we have concluded with the practical questions for accounting equation. I hope you have understood all these questions. We have solved in total 7 questions on these. Accounting equation only helps you in understanding how the transactions work. We do not record in a similar way in our books of accounts. This is only for understanding how the transaction follow through, how the accounts get affected. We are going to start with the recording of transactions in the next videos. So I hope you stay tuned for that, as this is a very basic, however, the most important thing in accounting, as everything is dependent on how you record the transaction. So till then, stay tuned. In case you have any queries, please don't hesitate to ask it. Your questions, the answers for it, these are only going to help you in solving all the questions, all the accounting problems in the future. So please DM me, mail me if you want to schedule a video class for this. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions whenever possible, because asking questions only help you in making yourself smarter. Till then, bye. See you in the next class. We are going to start with recording of transaction. Please attend this. Till then, bye.